Hey guys, Mike here. So, oh boy, what a day in the market or in maybe a sector and then stocks that benefit from AI, right? That's kind of what it was. I'm going to show it to you because if you're just looking at your phone and you're thinking, wow, the NASDAQ goes up 2.5%, right? You're thinking, these stocks must be just roaring. Well, I'm going to show you. Actually, what happened was the stocks that just went up so much. And so on my thumbnail yesterday, I said, this stock is going parabolic. That was not an exaggeration. The stock did something that no stock has ever done in history. And I'm talking about Nvidia. It's never done it in the US stock market. First time ever. Okay. I mean, I saw so many people get interviewed about Nvidia earnings. They've been in the business 30, 40 years. So they'd never ever seen anything like this before. Never seen an earnings where the forward guidance went up that much, but also never saw the stock make that big a move in overnight and then hold it going into the trading day, which was even crazier, right? And I mean, we're going to go into that. The people, oof, I know there's some people that are extremely happy today. And by the way, if you bought calls, because suppose those calls went up like 12,000% overnight, you know, you could have spent $100. It'd been worth like 5K this morning or something crazy mess. So congratulations to you. If you were short, my prayers are with you. But here's the good thing. You're not the only one. I don't know if there's a record set today on that too, but there's also something else you got to pay attention to is what's going on with Fed and interest rates, because there's been a big shift in the market on this, and I'll tell you why. But right now, we'll go into the charts. And there's also, Dan Niles came out with something today. They're shorting a stock, him and his fund. And it may surprise you which stock it is, but I'm going to let you in on that because he's been pretty right on about this stuff, right? But if you look at Nvidia, guys, I mean, obviously, unless you live in a hole somewhere, you know about this, but 25% gap up this morning. I mean, it actually held at one time, it was up over 30%. What's crazy, though, I mean, you see this large gap. I'm going to go ahead and it started to sell off, and people started taking profits immediately. But I'm going to go ahead and put this gap in here. That is an enormous gap. And eventually, you know, gaps do fill. We'll have to see. And so, but when you look, though, I mean, obviously, technically, I mean, RSI on the hourlies through the roof, on the dailies through the roof, as you can see right here. What's even crazier, though, when you pull up the 200-day moving average, right? Because Nvidia is normally, I showed you weeks ago, I said this can stay oversold for weeks at a time, right? And so eventually, I definitely keep supporting that trend line and see a pullback the trend line. But look at the 200-day. Remember, this acts as a rubber band a lot of times. This stock is now 96%. Can we just round to 100 above its 200-day moving average? That I went back, I think 87 at one time was like its record or whatever. But that is astounding, right? So eventually you will see people take profits. But one thing that kept it going today was, I don't think I've ever seen this many price upgrades come in, especially such big price upgrades. I'm talking about 600, 500, multiple companies, 475. So just, and this ain't the whole list. One of our members is nice enough to share this. I think it was literally like another page of price upgrades. And this one I'm talking about, I say a stock has never done this before. This is the largest single day market cap gain for any stock in U.S. history. It actually ended up putting on almost $200 billion in one day of market cap. I thought it'd be Tesla, to be honest with you. It would be second, but it's actually Apple. That kind of surprised me. But that happened in 2022, I guess, and it has the dates besides that. And so, I mean, of course, you know, bulls are like, woohoo! And I want you to hear me when I say this. I hope I get this right. The market cap that it added to its market cap already is actually greater than, like, I think it's 470 of the 500 stocks on the S&P 500. Does that make sense? So they added more than what 470 stocks or 477 stocks, I believe it was, are actually worth as far as market cap. That's mind-boggling. I mean, if that doesn't blow your mind, it's like, oh my goodness, you know, especially in the market we're in today, the economic atmosphere and things like that. It's crazy. And I said, what I tell you, how long have I been saying this? Year first. That's just what this is. You keep seeing them over and over, whether it's bad or good. That's what's happening. So of course, you know, look, bulls are happy. You know, they're cheering. And boy, the bears got absolutely wrecked. I hope you can see this chart. I tried to clear it up as much as possible. Right now, they're down about 8.1 billion, but look at the spike down. They lost 2 billion overnight in shorts. I mean, that, I told you, and I said this in the Discord last night, as soon as it came out, I said they are, you know what, in their pants when they saw that right there, because we've never seen it before. Shorts have never seen it before. and they're saying goodbye to their money. That's the way it is. How many weeks have been saying people keep trying to short this thing and just losing their shirt on it, and I'm like, woof, man. So congratulations to those who got to ride it up, bought the calls. Congratulations to you. And I don't, short sellers, I do feel bad for you. Trust me. I mean, it sucks. Who else is not happy? ARC shareholders, because Kathy was supposed to do a 5-year, plan or whatever. For whatever reason, she sold out of this thing back in, I think it was January. Sold most of it back in the fourth quarter before it even went on its run, which makes no sense. But yeah, I mean, so they lost out on all of this. All the shareholders for ARK Invest lost out on this move up. And instead, she put the money into, Zoom and DraftKings and I think Shopify maybe or something. But not that those are bad companies, won't move up. But, and my problem with it is simple. If a retail investor does that, that's fine. Look, we don't have all this fancy equipment, right? But, I mean, you're sitting there handling billions of dollars, and we're talking about the future. So if you're supposed to be the most tech-driven ETF there is, it's like, really? You couldn't see Nvidia doing that? You had no knowledge of what was happening here or AI or anything, and you dumped that and you bought Zoom or something? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. And so, yeah, if I was a shareholder, I'd be very upset right now because you saw what Tesla did for ARK Invest. It put it on the map, right, with these gains. And now, what I tell you, it's like basically a flash or a Groundhog's Day of what happened to Tesla with the EV bubble, boom, whatever you want to call it. That's what this AI thing is all about, right? And again, the valuation is stretched to the hilt. It's crazy valuation. But we saw Tesla. That's what happened with this valuation. Chart goes straight up and bubble pops, and it comes straight down eventually when competition starts coming in, when reality and gravity start setting in. That's what happens, right? It'll happen to Nvidia. It happens to everybody. It doesn't matter what stock it is, right? Always happens. And so, but like somebody said, somebody can pump those bubbles for a long time. And what else did you see today? You got companies like AMD, which don't really do what Nvidia does, but they do have a chip out there that's not as close as what Nvidia's got, but it is a good one as far as for AI and stuff. But with this one, I thought the trade idea was going to be it was going to sell down before all this happened, because every time it gets overbought, it sells down at least 8 to 10%, right? Nope, end up not only gapping up 12%, end up going right over that supply zone right there, trying to head to the other one. You can see this thing is overbought every which way from Sunday, of course, on the hour and the daily. And it's not like Nvidia. It doesn't stay overbought for long periods of time. So I can definitely see if this continues to move up, getting rejected off of that supply zone up top, coming back down, testing the trend line, turning that into support, and then heading back up if this whole thing continues, right? And of course, the Qs. The Qs was obviously been selling off the last 3 days, heading towards that trend line, and you got this crazy bounce. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about when I say one sector and then a handful of stocks basically pushed this thing up 2.5%. But it broke back above those August lows, right? It looks like the MACD obviously trying to move back up now. RSI on the daily is not overbought, so keep that in mind. Obviously, there's a gap here that needs to be filled. So you can see it moving up some, maybe getting rejected off the April highs, coming back down, filling that gap, testing that trend line. I can definitely see that. Now, I took this picture around maybe 11 o'clock today, and you can see a whole bunch of red and dark colors, right? And not a whole bunch of green in this thing. And you can see the big mega caps. They're green, but some of them are just so green, right? It's insane. But you see, Apple's barely up, but a lot of sectors completely red today, tanking. Even Tesla was red at one point in time. Amazon was red, right? And this is what I'm talking about. Look at semiconductors. Taiwan Semiconductors, who definitely don't do what Nvidia is, up 12%. Marvel is up 20% after hours right now after reporting earnings, right? You got MU even goes up 5%. AMD again, massive day, and then you see Nvidia up 20-something%, which is crazy. And then you go to IWM. As I was telling the members, IWM small caps don't have a stock or even 10 stocks that's going to hold it up. So what happened? It ended up going down almost 1.5% at some point in time today. And that's what's going to happen, right? And here we go. I said when we hit that supply zone up there, we're going to get another sell-off, fourth time, right? And of course, what's happening to money? As soon as Nvidia happened, a lot of money started flowing back into some of those mega cap stocks, AI stocks, things like that, because that's just how it works, right? And so, unfortunately, especially this environment, I'm going to show you another reason why this happened when it comes to rate hikes and stuff. But you can see, I thought the MACD was going to come over that zero line, which would have been very bullish. Now it's like it's trying to fold down, stay below it, and head back down. And so maybe we'll have to see we head back down towards that demand zone right below it that we've been at 4 separate times now, and it's been months that's held up so far, so we'll see. Now, Amazon's an interesting one, right? As I said, obviously getting rejected off the supply zone, but it didn't really even reach it before it started selling off. Now it's kind of stalling out here. And when we look, this is where Dan Niles comes in at, because he's been pretty spot on the last really year and a half. And he just come out today and said, hey, we're selling out of Amazon and actually going to go short. And so that was kind of a surprise, because it has been one of these laggards that has had a big move. But basically what he's saying is, I guess snow, got crushed down 15% today, I believe, and I guess a large percentage of over deployments in AWS. And they said demand in April remains slow and remains subdued in May. And so obviously it's also a hedge because they're big into Meta as well, which has been going up, and they've been benefited from AI. So, that's kind of where they're heading. So we'll see where it goes. Watch it from here again. He's been pretty spot on with this right here. And speaking of Meta, this is simple, right? Got this trend line that's respected going all the way back to last, what is this, December? So about 6-7 months now, and it's just trying to fill this gap. It's slowly just grinding up in this 17% gap. So if you thought that was a big gap, ain't got nothing on Nvidia, right? And before we continue, guys, if you get anything out of this, please hit that like, subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And think about sharing the video. And if you like the content, think about subscribing. And that leads me into, one reason you're seeing small caps again struggle, right? People are kind of rotating out again and everything else, because what was the narrative? Hey, we're going to be cutting rates here coming up. What, in less than 30 days, actually, isn't there? Something we're supposed to start cutting in June, won't we? And now all of a sudden, the narrative's changed again. And looky here, and all of a sudden June, well, wait a minute, it's almost like a 50-50 toss-up between a pause and a rate hike. Right? You think, well, that's weird. What's going on with that? Well, I'll tell you about that in just a second. All of a sudden, wait a minute, July. Now they're sitting there saying, July's meeting, there's a 25% chance they raise rates again. Right? And so that's weird, right? And then I guess if they go up to 5.25 to 5.5, is a 50% chance. They either pause there, and kind of reading this is kind of weird, because I don't know if they're saying, oh, they already did the rate hike in June or didn't, but even if they didn't, they're saying there'll be one in July, right? And why is that happening? Because the jobs market, once again, initial jobless claims come in at 229K below the 245K, and then they revise the other one back down, right? And so that didn't even come as hot as it's supposed to, right? And then a continuous claim, same thing, came in less than expected. And you can see on this chart right here what's happening. All these claims were going up. Now all of a sudden they're heading back down, right? They're not getting the numbers they thought they were going to get. So this market continues to sit here and stay hot. And so it always comes back down to one simple factor. Do we got jobs? Yes. Number two, is pay still increasing? Sure is, right? And so what do we continue to do? Spend. Right, the industrial data still looks like hot garbage, but that don't matter, because the services data, which makes up 70% of the economy, still booming. I mean, heck, I'm taking my son to the music park down in South Florida next week, right? And so, people ain't even thinking about it. Everybody here, I know, got neighbors are going on an Alaskan cruise. Someone else is going to Europe. That's the way it is. We still got jobs, still got paychecks, and all like this stuff. And so, as long as that's happening, I'm sure there may be some areas. Again, I still think it's the industrialized areas. I wish I could find research on this. If you do, please share it with us, and I'll share it with everybody else. And I'll start digging even deeper into this. But yeah, I'm sure the industrialized areas, maybe they feel, a lot of manufacturing areas feel like that maybe there's a recession. Maybe there's a recession. Maybe you work for a big tech company, because all the layoffs just in big tech. Maybe you feel that. For the majority of America, though, still spending. That's just the way it is, right? And so, until that happens, again, it can turn. These are lagging effects we're going to see. I don't know. Put in the comments if you think they're going to raise, because I don't know, man. I don't. There's too many of them coming out, and I'm hearing this narrative. Oh, well, maybe we don't raise in June. Maybe we raise in July. But also the other thing they said too was they're actually doing research now. This is how to give themselves out. They're doing research now to see if 2% should be the target, or should it be upped to like 3% or something. So that's a whole nother narrative they're going to paint as well, which would definitely give them a soft land. If you're only going to do it to 3% versus 2%, maybe that's doable, right? And so keep that in mind. Now, there is a lot of economic data coming out tomorrow, by the way, and you can see right here, core PCEs coming out. You're going to have durable goods data. You're going to have PCE price index month over month, PCE price index year over year. Personal income for us, so we're going to see, they're expecting another increase, right? Personal spending month over month, they're expecting an increase on that. and then we'll have the Michigan consumer sentiment and all the fun stuff it tells us, and we'll see what it's looking like on that. And also, while I'm thinking about it, make sure you put down in the comments if you were one of those lucky folks that rode that 12,000% call up, if you happen to get into those or not. I already bought the puts, right? Because the odds of it going up or down were probably more in favor of going down. But, you know, and I kicked my butt because I wasn't at home or on my phone and stuff. But when I saw how cheap the calls were, and after I was like, oh, those things were so cheap, and the puts were really expensive, right? And so I can see where people were just say, what the heck, $100, see what happens, right? And they woke up to like $5,000. So congratulations to you. I always love it when retail investors make money. I don't care what it's on. So, you know, congratulations to you guys. And, you know, if you were shorted, it is what it is, right? You were playing the odds and the odds just didn't work out. That's the way you got to look at it, right? Because remember, hopefully if you're short and you see, wow, first time in history I've ever seen something like that before, like that big. Well, yeah, I mean, that's is what it is. So, you know, it'll be okay. We'll live to fight. You'll live to fight another day. So that's kind of the way to think about it. But anyway, guys, hope you got something out of it, man. Hit the like, subscribe button if you did. And I'll go ahead and see you tomorrow. Or, hey, tomorrow, Saturday. We'll see. And let me know in the comments if you like to come out on Friday or you like to come out on Saturday. It don't matter to me either way. So hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you later.